Good morning. All right, I'm going to tackle the topic of fearlessness. People ask me, Christie, don't you have any fear and how can you do that? Or sometimes even people will use it as an excuse. Well, I'm not fearless like you. I could never do that. Really? Okay, so let me ask you, do you think there was a time that I didn't think that? Yeah, that I could never do whatever. So, it's not summer yet, by the way. It is super beautiful, but yeah, I'm freezing. So, yeah, I had to put on a turban. Okay. Oh, and I got a cute little puppy here. She keeps me warm. But all right. So when it comes to conquering your fears, now, number one, we're going to talk about different things, but let's just say you are afraid of water. Okay, I was fearful of water. I almost drowned when I was a young girl in Hawaii, and dude, it was intense, but whatever. So that kept me from all sorts of things like Powell trips. It kept me from going to the beaches and going kayaking and paddleboarding and going swimming, going in pool parties, jacuzzis even, because I would hyperventilate when the water reached my knees. I didn't go to river rafting trips. I didn't do all these really beautiful, fun things because I was afraid. That's just one example. I mean, I can go into it even more, like scars on my body. I mean, that was a good excuse for me to not go to the beach because I didn't want anyone to see my body anyways, right? Because I was so living in shame and fear and, oh my God, I'm so ugly and fat and blah, and everybody's looking and, oh, look at these scars and everything. Okay, so when I made the decision years ago, and I actually wrote about this very issue with the water and my fear and where it stemmed from, and then I went a little bit deeper talking about the emotional issues and how water is emotions, and we're trained in society to fear them. So it was easy for me to stuff it away and pretend I didn't have it. I just avoided it, right? Okay. Well, when I made the conscious decision to try getting over that, I took baby steps with friends when I was ready. And, Casey, and, you remember my first time in the pool, and, you're like, oh, I can help you. I'm a good swimmer, this or that. And I'm just like, I just have to sit here and breathe, and I can do it when I can do it. I did the same thing when I went free diving for the first time in the Keys. And, everybody was worried about me, and, oh, let me hold your hand. And it's like, no, because I knew that I had to do it. I realized that, dude, millions, billions, trillions of people before me have gone in the water and not died, right? So it wasn't about that. But even if it was about that, let's talk about that. The death thing. If you know who you are, and you know at least a little bit, or even believe in your own beliefs, right? If you actually really believe your own beliefs, then you would not fear death, right? Whether you believe that, I'll share with you, I believe that we go when it's our time, period. Okay, the cancer, the car accident, the doing a backflip off a boat, or the alligator, or whatever, is just the vehicle for your transformation, a new birth, right? Life, death, life cycle. Okay, so if you actually believe your own bullshit, right, like I do, and you believe that there really is no death and that we only leave this plane when it's our time, then why would you fear death? Why would you prevent yourself from going paddleboarding, right? Canoeing, kayaking, swimming, hanging out in the river, the beach, or this and that? Why would you fear that if you didn't fear death? Okay? All fears are pretty much about that. It's about losing something. And every time you lose something, it is a death. And I'm saying welcome it. welcome that death or loss in your life. Because without removing the riffraff, without removing what isn't serving you, those fears, then how can you find out what's on the other side? You're not going to meditate it into being. You're not going to read books into being or say mantras or whatever. You have to face it. And that's for those of us that are into personal growth. Okay, not everybody is. And that is okay. Okay, we all have our own path to walk for ourselves, not to compare to someone else. So the fear. Did I have any fear in this journey? Somebody asked me in the group. Oh my God, let me tell you. Okay, so let's see. Cops shooting me in the eye with laser weapons live on the air, beating me up, stalkers calling him in a wheelchair, trying to figure out how to provide for my children, trying to flee across the country and having the stalkers make false reports and having us pulled over on the side of the road. They're thinking that we're Jihad Jane and transporting bombs. Let's see, how many moves? Okay, so I figured out that this was move 18 just since Branson and 10 just since in Washington, which is not a year and a half, okay, or less. Everybody kicking me out, firing me, stalking me, having cops telling people that I'm rolled over in a ditch. Let's see, I mean, yeah, the brain and not being able to walk or talk. And having zero support, not even knowing who my neighbors were and nowhere to go and zero income and not making any headway anywhere. Dude, yes, I felt fear. I felt fear. I felt pain. I felt grief. I felt sadness. I felt rage. I felt every single thing you can ever imagine. Well, maybe not, but whatever. But yeah, I also felt joy, love, hope. This shit ain't working, so I have to try something else, right? So what did I actually have to lose? And in my case, I had a lot of preparation for fearlessness. And I mean, let's start back from my sports days as a young child and always being kind of in the public eye, even though I never wanted it. And even like when I was pushed in like Hollywood stuff, I never wanted it. When I worked for WB, I didn't even ask for that job. I didn't, and then as soon as a camera position opened up, I'm like, do you think I can do that? I don't really want to be on TV. Why? My fears. Again, I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm stupid, I have nothing useful to say, I hate my voice. What are people going to say? They're going to beat me up, they're blah, blah, blah. So getting back to me being blessed in my path of fearlessness, blessed or cursed, well, I got massacred. I got slandered by every single person I knew. All of a sudden, here's this do-gooder, just, providing for her children, trying to make a life and really living it. I had the house on the hill. I, did all that. But my fears really kept me from being me. Certainly no one will ever like me. And you know what? Honestly, and I'm not saying, I love the stalkers, blah, blah, blah. I don't have Stockholm Syndrome. I'm just saying everything that they attacked me with were things really that I felt about myself. I hated my voice, for example. So what did they do? They attack my voice, right? Really try to push me down. Well, what the fuck? I already have 1,000 shows out there. So what's the difference? And you know what I mean? So I had already been massacred. I was already demonized, a racist, a pedophile, a child abuser, an adult abuser, a prostitute, a druggie, a drug lord, like everything in the world. So how could I have let fear limit me, my voice, my speaking, when that was really all I had left, right? So yeah, I had fear. Dude, my first 8 years in radio, I barely got comfortable by the time I was gone. But every show, I was scared, I was nervous. It was my first, what am I going to say? Am I going to say the right thing? Am I going to be able to follow through with my intention of helping people to improve their life right here, today, right now, without spending a dollar. That was my goal of Soul Journeys Radio, each and every show. And yeah, I had that fear. So what do? Again, realize that hundreds, thousands, millions, billions, trillions of people have already done what you are afraid of, right? Whatever it is, leaving a relationship that you don't like, an abusive situation, a job, whatever, your spiritual growth. Oh, what are people going to think if I talk about this, or if I live this way, or if I get rid of my 8-to-5 job and follow my heart? Who the fuck cares? Really, who cares? What other people think about you is not your problem. That is their issues that they need to work on in their individual path. And maybe you can help them by saying exactly that. Who cares? And move on and do what makes you happy and prove through the results of your actions, not your words, that you can do it. Okay? You really, whatever it is, okay? I did always hold on to the fact that if I followed through with what I believe to be right and true in my path and kind of followed the clues, that things would have to work out. And if not, whatever, give me liberty or give me death. Why can't we? I'm not afraid of death. It's, in fact, I think it's very peaceful. And I don't think it's a bad thing if we have free will, right? And we do, technically. Look at this. Every death is a suicide, right? So are we doing it in socially acceptable ways? Like eating fast food and then saying, well, we don't have time because we're working this horrible job. And, well, really, we pretty much cause our own deaths. Hello, Evel Knievel, or, or whatever. Okay. And it's not a bad thing. It is nothing to fear at all. Hello. Look at all this stuff out here. There is new life. It was all just dead a month ago with 2-3 feet of snow on it. And it's back, bigger and stronger than before. Like myself in each of the deaths that I encountered, hence my hashtag Phro died here, Phro, which is short for Aphrodite, died here. Let it go, whatever it is. Unpack those bags. You don't need it because there are bigger and better things ahead once you let that go. Okay? Losing shame, spending that time with yourself, because once you know yourself, really, and again, if you believe your own bullshit, right, that death is an illusion and that we go when it's our time, period, no matter what we're doing, then why wouldn't you do what you really want to do? Why would you be like me and limit yourself and grow up in San Diego and never go to the beach? Yeah, dumbass. That was me. Yeah, I lived in Utah for 8 years. I never went skiing. And I thought it was a valid reason. I'm a single mother. I've already had 8 knee surgeries. I can't afford to be on crutches and this again, which I actually ended up doing a few times, even as a single mother. And then ultimately the wheelchair. But I never went skiing because I was afraid of what might happen. I didn't leave an abusive relationship as soon as I should have because I was afraid, well, a daddy is better than no daddy, and, now what? So even the thing I told you about in the video, I think the tongue is mightier than the sword, that worked out to my benefit. Yeah, that was scary, and it was like, whoa, it was a big shocker, feeling I was lied to this whole time. And then, again, fear, what do? It's the middle of winter. I have absolutely nothing now, and all of this happened, and I have 2 children to support. Magic happened for believing and doing what I believed in. Following my heart. You can do the same too, okay? Do not let fear keep you from living life. Otherwise, you're just the living dead, right? Or yeah, isn't there a TV show about that? Are you really living your life if you are allowing fear to limit you? I also feel like I need to mention this. As far as fear goes, now I used to talk about this a lot, doing the radio and how emotions correlate with the body. And I do also look into Louise Hay's if you are, wanting to learn more about this, how emotions correlate with the body and disease. But fear is harbored in your kidneys. Okay, so chances are, if you are harboring fear, you may have kidney issues. So how can you work on that besides working on your inner psyche and going within? Inner space, the journey to inner space, right? You can feed your kidneys things that are good for you, which will actually help filter that out and will energetically work through your cells to your psyche and emotions. So what's good for your kidneys? Things that look like kidneys, right? Beans. Okay, and then you have some dandelions and red clover and alfalfa and, so nourish yourself. If you want to get over fears, it all boils down to the same thing. Your body is your temple. Treat it as such. I think that's all I have to share right now. Have a great day. Bye.